So I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here now. This is not gonna be a politically correct video. It's not gonna be anything like that. But I will promise you that this is gonna be real, and it's definitely going to be the truth and what really matters. But videos like this are the ones that are really important, and not many people are talking about it. Most folks aren't going to put out, yeah, we carry a gun to kill folks, carry a gun to shoot somebody. That doesn't sound right. People don't want to talk about it. It's not politically correct. But I'm going to tell you something, rape and murder and aggravated child molestation and these types of things, they're not politically correct either. So we need to be real, especially when we got active shooter incidents happening all the time now, not just at schools. They're happening at churches. They're happening any place that we probably frequent on a day-to-day basis. That's where it can happen. When you have a firearm and you've gone out and you have purchased a gun, you bought a holster, you went and got your concealed carry permit, you carry this gun every single day. There's a crap load of responsibility that comes along with that, because basically, if something goes down and you pull your gun out, you're taking everybody's lives into your hands, period. So for the people that are doing that, or even the people that just purchase a firearm and they keep it at the house or they keep it in their car, you have to understand, first off, we purchased the firearm to shoot somebody with. Before you get all crazy and bent out of shape and freaking out about what I just said. If you wanted to defend yourself with something else, or say you didn't want to defend yourself with a gun, you use a knife, or you would take a lot of martial arts and hand-to-hand combat courses, and that'd be the way that you've done it. But you decided to buy a firearm, and we always say to protect ourselves, but we find out there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it than that. But you went out and bought a firearm because it's there to protect yourself and other people. So the only way to do that is to shoot somebody with it. So let's just be kind of clear, from the start. So being that is the case, it just multiplies the responsibility factor on you 100-fold. Firearms are by far the ultimate force multiplier. They are the ultimate equalizer. You don't have to be big. You don't have to be strong. You can be a fairly weak person. You don't have to be young. You can be old. Generally, with about 5.5 to 7 pounds of pressure, you can use a firearm, especially when we're talking about a handgun. So I wanted to record this video because a couple things. Number one, I want you to truly understand the responsibility that's on your shoulders. And the second is, if you're truly intending on using it to protect yourself and other people, there's a certain mindset that comes along with that if you want to be victorious in a situation like that. Hence the title of this video being The Switch. So what that means is this. You're the happy, loving, caring, compassionate person when the switch is off. You're shaking hands, you're kissing babies, you're the politician, you're a loving person. And what we find is that, people who usually get in the military or become police officers or even civilians that are highly trained and highly skilled and could literally take people's lives just with their hands, they tend to be the most loving and compassionate people walking this planet. So you need to be that person. When your switch is off, you need to be that person. You need to be the person that is just happy, loving, caring, compassionate, all these things. But when someone threatens to cause you great bodily harm or death, and more important than that, your loved ones and people that you care about, when somebody threatens to do that, you need to flip that switch and you need to be a completely different person. And what I mean by that is your mindset. You have to understand that it's business time. We didn't ask for it. But when I look at crime the way that it is now, and these crazy movements with Antifa and any other acronym that you want to talk about, when I look at that, I look at the political climate, I look at just your normal domestic terrorist, the person that's raping and robbing folks in your neighborhood. In order for you to be victorious in that gunfight, you have to have a different type of mindset. You have to respond with a violence of action. And the reason why is because the only way to stop bad violence is in fact with good violence, without hesitation. And you have to do that. That's just what's required. You have to be psychologically and mentally ready for that. You just have to, it's almost like responding with a great vengeance, because they're outside of emotions like love and compassion. You will have, rage, and there's definitely times when rage is good, not too much, but you have to respond with a violence of action. That's the only way. And it has to be swift. Where the psychological effects I teach in the classes, that there's two things that happen to somebody who's on the receiving end of a bullet or the possibility of being shot. You have the psychological effects and you have the physiological effects. The psychological effects is, you're in the gas station and you're getting your favorite drink, and then you hear, at the counter, "Give me your effing money. Give me all the money out of the register, blah, blah, blah." You hear people screaming, telling people to get on the ground. You turn around and you realize that the place that you're in is now a part of an armed robbery. And based off of how this person is acting and the way they're swinging this gun around and just their actions in general, you feel that you need to stop this right now. The psychological effect that I'm talking about is when you present your firearm, you clear your garment, you index your weapon, you punch out with such emotion, such a great, I don't really know how to describe it accurately, but just you doing that and starting to press that fight and close that gap on that person. And once they see this, the psychological effect that I'm talking about is, oh shit, I'm about to get shot. Because first off, this person didn't have a plan B. The plan was to go in and rob or do whatever, crazy violence that they were planning on doing that day. That's what they do for a living. So when you don't have a plan B, they don't have the mindset that we all need to have, the protectors. When they see that and they see you pressing that fight towards them with a firearm extended towards them, the psychological effect is, oh shit, I'm about to get shot. Oh shit, I'm about to die. The second is the physiological effects once they're shot. Oh shit, I'm shot. And then the whatever damage the bullet caused. Took out any bone, you took out an artery, you punctured a lung, whatever it is. Whatever it is that once they're shot, it's rendering certain parts of their body useless. So it's the psychological and the physiological effects that bad guys experience, or just people in general experience when they're shot. But when we look at gunfights, we realize that when we look at who was the victor in these gunfights, whether they were on the good side or the bad side, the person who was usually the victor was the person who was pressing the fight, who had that mindset before it ever occurred, before they even had an inkling that they were involved in some type of violent crime. They had a certain type of mindset prior to. They had the mindset of, I'm carrying this weapon to stay safe and to protect people. But the only way to do that is I have to understand that I am carrying this gun to shoot somebody with, a bad person with. And that's the thing. And that's it. And I really need people to, we've all been in that boat, where you carry a gun You've been carrying concealed for years, and you're like, yeah, I carry this gun to protect myself and my family, but you hadn't really sat down and truly tried to quantify and think about why you're really doing it and what it really requires. You know, we kind of have the general idea, yeah, you know, I might have to shoot somebody, but have you really sat down and thought about it and understood that that's really the only way that you're going to be able to protect yourself with a gun or a firearm? You will have to shoot somebody. And I think that that's one of the biggest reasons why you see people that are involved in situations where they had a firearm and they weren't able to use it. You know, they froze, they did whatever. And that's because the mindset was missing. You can call it tactical mindset, fighter mindset, you can call it whatever. I just need you to be the switch. And it's something that we talk about extensively in our courses. Without the mindset, all the training in the world means nothing. Because you probably will not be able to perform. I want to record this video because mindset is extremely, extremely important. I also wanted to record this video because I need you to be the switch. You can be self-aware and situationally aware and still be normal. You know, you can still laugh, you can still have a good time, you can still do all the things that everybody else is doing. The difference between you and everybody else is that if somebody wants to cause great bodily harm or death to anybody around me, I'm a completely different person. And that's what you should be. Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to protect anybody around you. You know, I think videos like this are 20 times more important than any video that I could put out shooting and running and gunning and doing all that. That stuff is entertainment. It looks great. Hopefully it inspires people to want to come and get instruction, whether it's from me, which that would be great, but get instruction from whoever, you know, as long as they're a competent instructor. So if you carry a gun, you've got your concealed carry permit, whatever, you own a gun, and your intention with that firearm is to be able to protect yourself and others, I highly suggest that you get in front of a good, competent instructor. I highly suggest, not just so you can understand the fundamentals and all that stuff, but it's extremely crucial, more important than the 7 fundamentals of shooting. It's extremely crucial that you have the right mindset, that you understand truly the responsibility that you're putting on your shoulders. And I think once you attain that mindset and you truly understand the responsibility that's on your shoulders as far as you owning a gun, even if it's just at your home, but especially if you're carrying it every day, you'll go out and you'll find a good instructor and you'll get some good training, and you will continue to train, because this is a subject that I don't know if it's from movies or whatever, but people buy guns every day and they never get trained. And what's worse than that is they never had the mindset. They just bought the gun because there was some type of stimulus. You know, their neighbor got broken into, their family member got hurt or robbed or something, or there was some form of a stimulus. They could have watched a movie that freaked them out so bad they're like, yeah, I need to get a gun, or some kind of documentary. But the mindset is the most important thing. Right here. This is the most important thing, and always will be. And that's how you're truly going to win a gunfight. If we train the mind, the body's going to follow. So understand this, guys and girls. Be the switch. That's the only way we're going to stay alive. It's the only way you're going to be able to protect anybody else. You have to understand this. Guys, I'm sorry about the, real serious video or whatnot, but this is very important. I hope that this resonated with you guys. I really do. I'm definitely expecting to get a bunch of hate and craziness and people thinking I'm nuts or something. That's okay. But at the end of the day, it's the truth. And I really hope that it resonated with you to the point to where at least you'll start looking more into it and you'll reevaluate, the reasons why you have a firearm, and if you are truly ready mentally, and if you're not, there are resources that are available. I just want everybody to stay safe, and that's the point of this. I want everybody to stay safe, no matter what. And that's a lot of the reason behind my hashtag Be Unstoppable. Nothing can stop you but you. So, guys, I do hope you enjoyed it. If you want to conversate with me a little bit about this, I'm sure you're going to have some questions. Put it in the comments or shoot me an email, info@provectusgroup.org. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Guys, remember, in all that you do, be unstoppable.